I've got to regale you guys about my vasectomy one day. It was quite a daunting thing.
There ain't no fucking way I'm going to let anyone near that area. I can't believe that you did that.
Well,
I'd do it for sure.
absolutely, I'd do it, and have done.
Eddie, we know all about your colonoscopy, so why not?
Yeah.
But the whole idea of someone going and snips it. Actually, the question I want to ask is, they snip the tube, right?
Yeah.
So where does the fluid go?
They just tie the little tubes in a knot.
But the fluid must build up somewhere.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fluid there. It's only the delivery of the actual sperm. You still have the what do you call the fluid that it actually is in?
Oh, I forgot what it's called, but I mean that will build up over time. And I'm just thinking, well,
that's all.
Where does that go? Does the body naturally get rid of it?
Yeah, it's only the actual sperm, which is minute. Can't even see it with the human eye.
But
this is outstanding talk.
It is.
Incredible.
It's great. Just in case any of you were planning on having the procedure, I'll just briefly tell you what happened. My father-in-law took me for my vasectomy, and that was a very tense drive from here to Westmead. And I went in, and it was like a dentist chair.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to see like an operating table, but no, it's a dentist chair. And you sit in there and put your legs up in the stirrups, and they lay you back so your head is below the level of your feet. So all the blood rushes to your head.
So you're feeling really vulnerable already?
Oh, really vulnerable, yeah. And then just before the surgeon comes in, it was female. She said, I have some students here that were asking if they observe. And I said, well, you're in a position where you're laying upside down, junk out. You don't feel you can say no. I certainly didn't want to, but yeah, I just said, yeah, look, I guess so. And then halfway through, these were medical students, halfway through, they'd done one side. The surgeon says, do you mind if one of the students assists with the second side? So yeah, that was all above board. And
is there any chance of interviewing any of those students?
I don't know. I don't think we'd be able to find them, but it was quite distressing. But I never regret having it done, and that's one of those things. Moses was the same as you. They were like, no, not at all.
Yeah, but what's the look afterwards? Does it feel sore peeing? Does it feel weird walking around?
It's like you've been riding a horse for a week. Mm-hmm.
They don't snip the urinary tracts.
No.
No, but I'm just thinking because everything would be a bit sore and tender. I know it's not the urinary tract.
It was honestly, it was a bit tender
super sore and tender, you know?
Bit tender for a
but
day.
When you've been married as long as Eddie, everything's a bit sore and tender.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's from lack of use. Yeah.
By day 2, it's like it had never been done.
Yeah, it's just it's just extreme. Look, I know of people who've done it. You swear by it.
Is it extreme for your partner to have to take a drug that messes with her body and like you get lots of side effects with?
Yeah, but there are other means of contraception than that.
Yeah, there are.
It doesn't have to be drug-based, does it?
Some involve surgery.
Yeah, but it doesn't involve that. Doesn't involve surgery.
So why shouldn't the male take it on themselves to take responsibility for this?
Yeah, your argument is just based on this dichotomy. Like, does the woman take some drug that could affect or hormones and have some possible side effects versus the snip, you're overlooking that there's a third option and maybe a fourth option.
Well, yeah.
That's why I'm not convinced of it. There's more. It's not just either or, you know.
Well, I mean, this is something
it's right for you, but
this
it's
is
not
something
the way
you
I
can
would
do.
process the decision, you know.
Yeah, this is something you can take on yourself, so she doesn't have to. That's just. I didn't see it as a problem.
No, it's just I mean, you can make the choice, but I'm just thinking, I didn't think it would be just based on a dichotomy because, you know, there's more than surgical or chemical ways to deal with these things.
Yeah, but why is it up to her to do it? Why shouldn't it be up to us?
It's not up to her to do it. It can be either one, but
yeah, exactly.
Like I said, there's 3 or 4 options there. It's not just necessarily her.
I chose one of them.
Yeah, not an option that I'd take.
Is there any drug or treatment known to mankind or humankind that actually makes a woman's feelings worse, or the way she acts?
In terms of like pregnancy and stuff like that?
Or in terms of anything?
Makes their feelings worse. Yeah, it's called marriage.
Oh,
yeah, I was about to say.
I'm saying, once you're married and you've lived together for a certain amount of time, is there a drug that actually makes it worse?
Well, don't they usually say that the best form of contraception is a wedding cake?
That has been said, yeah.
I thought it was a wedding ring.
Commercial time.
Hey, have you ever wondered what to get for that person that you don't love but are obliged to buy a present for? The Inappropriate Gift Warehouse has a present range just for you. Our re-gifting range includes used and stained ties for your least favourite uncle and creased 1980s hairband wall posters for the teenagers. Our alcohol range includes all kinds of booze for your teetotaler brother and a special collection of sparkling red wine that goes pop every time you see a relative's brand new white carpet. And let's not forget our best-selling collection of celebratory penis pumps for the young adults and the impotent. So don't be caught out when you're in a difficult situation. Contact the Inappropriate Gift Warehouse when you can tell your unloved ones exactly how you feel.
Hey Groovers, new to Pod No Name merch is a new fun adult board game, Female Logic, where you have to use female logic to get through most dilemmas posed by the questions. There's the beginners category, where you get questions like, you should have heard me when I explained it to you when you're outside. To the deluxe edition, we have to delicately explain the logic of conundrums such as, I don't want it organised, I just want a plan. Skillful players need to avoid the woke penalties and the dreaded doghouse. First male to reach its their fault freedom palace can have a sigh of relief and realise that they're under the thumb again. Female Logic board game, available from Pod No Name merch site, where you have to say, yes dear.
Commercial time.
I think the last time I had a procedure with that, I spoke to the anaesthetist afterwards because they had a wild sense of humour. So the anaesthetist said to me something like, you'll feel a bit drowsy soon. And then I was got through the sentence, how come you guys don't count back from 10 to 0? And he said, we don't often need to. And that's the last bit I remember. Because obviously enough drug. And he saw me later on and said, I actually did give you a proper answer, but I knocked you out by that stage. And I think the one thing I do remember is there was something else they gave me through the drip that I had a weird allergic reaction. And they gave me some antihistamines. And antihistamine plus the anesthesia makes you feel incredibly dopey when you get up. Like, I don't know what the time frame is. They knock you out as anesthetic and it's a simple one or something like that. You could be awake half an hour later, but when you introduce the antihistamines, it can be like an hour and a half later. And, you know, there's a little delay before you can walk and stuff like this. And I couldn't walk properly for a while, talking more shit than normal. The combination of those two things is really powerful.
Was that the procedure you had that I took you to?
No, not that favourite one you like talking about, but that one I do remember
hilarious.
too. I mean, that one I do remember because when I came out still clearly dopey and under the influence, I just started to be cheeky and playful and talking a lot of crap because I kind of hadn't realised properly where I was. And then I'm trying to stand up and I can't stand up, I can't sit up. And they kept saying, just sit down, you're going to feel like this for a little while. So I think I did chat to one of the nurses and just said, how much shit did I talk about? I said, well, you know, they said, we're used to people talking shit, so don't worry about what you said.
Yeah. I was very cheeky and playful that day when I took you over there. I don't know if Dave knows the story, but...
I do.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
They love it.
You like telling that again and again and again.
Oh, yeah. It was brilliant.
Yes, for the viewer at home, there's still some people who work at that clinic who think we were a gay couple. And, of course, I knew nothing about this. I was knocked out at the time.
And amazingly, all the staff there absolutely believed it without problem.
This was back in the day when it wasn't as accepted as it is now.
Mm.
So yeah,
I think you were even asking, can we hop back on the horse later on that night?
How long should we leave it before we resume normal operations?
Yeah. And didn't the advice say you should be all right for that night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm right. I'm going on what you told me because
I think I was advised to take advantage of the personal lubricant.
The only thing Eddie didn't tell them that he should have was say, hey, if Sid starts speaking French, can you get me straight in there?
That's happened under anaesthetic. I have done that under anaesthetic. And then suddenly my vocabulary
everyone that knows you well has taken you to hospital at least once.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
Everyone that knows you well has taken you to hospital at least once.
Oh,
it's one of the things we love about you.
Yeah, it has happened. It has happened. You know,
you keep coming back.
Yeah, it's not like I've got frequent flyer points or I love all the staff there, but yeah, it has happened. But, God, yeah. Well, we've started off with our vasectomy episode, listener. We put that behind us. We're now talking about colonoscopies.
It's not the only thing we put behind us.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Thanks for joining us for this very special mini episode of the podcast with no name. Hopefully you can join us next week for our next regular episode. If you'd like to drop us an email, you can get us at podnoname@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/podnoname, or @podnoname. If you'd like to donate to us via our Patreon site, you can go to patreon.com/podnoname. We'd like to thank you very much for listening to this episode, and hopefully you'll be on board with us next week.